The other night, March 10th, 2026, might be the most insane NBA night that I've ever seen as a sports fan. Of course, you have your headliner of Bam Adebayo scoring 83 points, but around the league, unfortunately, no one else was watching these games because everyone was watching the Heat. But there was a bunch of random stuff that happened, and I want to break it all down with you guys. First and foremost, though, it would be impossible to start talking about this video without bringing up the greatness that was the Miami Heat versus Washington Wizards game. I mean, Bam Adebayo scored 83 points. Although, was it ethical? Maybe not. I've got the real screenshot here. At this point that I'm recording this video, it's up to 97,000 comments, which I think has to be a career high. Most of this is just because it was so unexpected. Kobe Bryant's legacy and his record of 81 I thought was never going to be touched, given that really none of the players are going to go for it, and they always get pulled out before they have a real chance. But Bam Adebayo and Eric Spoelstra say that. We're going to shoot 43 shots, 22 threes, and 43 free throws. Was it ethical? Honestly, I would say yes. I know people are going to hate on it, but at the same time, if you have a chance to go for the record, I appreciate that Spoelstra kept him in and kept letting it fly. But if you're some of those role players on the Heat, get out of the way. Like, what are you doing taking shots in the fourth quarter and overtime? You know damn well that ball's going to Bam, and you know damn well that shit should be his and going up into the air. He shot 43 free throws on 36 makes. He was getting fouled every time down the floor. Spoelstra was challenging calls up 25 with 2 minutes left to get the ball back. In my opinion, it's extremely ethical. I think if you get that close and you try and get to the record, keep going, keep trying to score, and just get the job done. Plus, it's Bam Adebayo. That guy, his career high before last night was 41 points. He more than doubled it, scoring 83. It's still, I mean, all this time later, it still doesn't feel real. If you gave me 2 hours to name NBA players who broke 81 points, I don't think Bam Adebayo would come up once for me. I think I'd say Pritchard before him, probably Derek White, and just as some of the lower tier names. Shit, I would even say Jared McCain. Like, of course you have your stars, Booker, Mitchell, Lillard, Curry, whoever. I would say those guys all would, but I would not have said Bam Adebayo, honestly, at all. But that was a crazy game. That was the headliner, and deservingly so. The other game going on at the same time as this was the national TV game of the Spurs versus the Celtics, and as a Celtics fan, I was glued to my seat watching this one. Tatum's back, they're playing the Spurs, Wembanyama, of course, all the works of a great game. But in the second quarter, Jaylen Brown gets tossed for arguing a call. And did he sell the call? Yes. Was it a foul? I would say probably. I mean, given what we're seeing, usually when these guys lose the ball and flop, they're going to give the call. But Brown, to be fair, lost his shit on Tyler Ford, the referee. And because of that, he got booted from the game, and the Celtics were fighting an uphill battle ever since then. But we saw Derek White once again go God mode. He had 34, 5, and 7 against the Spurs, and not only that, he was attacking Wembanyama, and I've never seen the guard really do that, and it was sort of fun to watch. But unfortunately, because Wembanyama is just an alien, he put up 39, 11, and 3. Well, every game I watch from Wembanyama, players are driving to the rim and then just turning the other way because they just can't go up with him, and they know it for a fact. He also shot 8 for 15 from 3, which is just absurd for a guy who's 7'5", and it's almost just unfair to watch. He literally looks like a my career player out there, and he's such a demon. But anyways, the Celtics couldn't get it done. Tatum's starting to look like himself a little bit more. He's taking too many threes for my liking. I wish he would try and keep going to the basket. But in a 9-point loss, he was only -1, so we're leaving here with something. And now time for another game that I know nobody was watching. It was the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers had Embiid and Maxey out, and for the Grizzlies, they've been tanking for so long, it's just no one's trying to watch them anymore. But who other than Cam Payne walks out and puts up 32 and 10 with 3 steals and 2 blocks on 90% from the field while going 8 for 8 from 3 and having a staggering 126 true shooting percentage. I haven't heard of Cam Payne since that picture of him getting his haircut went viral and him on the Suns. The fact that he's coming into the league and scoring 32 and 10, I don't even know if he was on the Sixers for 10 days before this game, but any case, whatever the case may be, it's pretty funny to see him scoring 32 and 10, just completely getting overshadowed. Also, Kelly Oubre had 30, Payne and Oubre combined for 62. VJ had a good game, Grimes had a good game. But honestly, this game was just so overlooked, and the fact that Cam Payne had 32 and 10 on 126% true shooting, shows all that you have to know about this game and just how Mickey it was. I'm going to start with the ultimate tank bowl between the Sacramento Kings and the Indiana Pacers. Both these teams obviously have given up on the season and at this point are just playing for lottery odds, and so the winner of this game actually would be the biggest loser, and the winner was the Sacramento Kings. They won 114 to 109, and honestly for the Pacers this is great because I saw on Twitter that with a loss they would have an over 50% chance of gaining their top 4 pick, and on top of that if they lost they would only have like a 15% chance. I'll try and find the tweet and pull it up on the screen for you guys. But yeah, losing this game to the Kings, I mean, anytime you can just have a toilet bowl game, it's always sort of exciting to watch just to see the amount of bricks that these guys are going to put up, see the young guys get some run, and honestly see some guys you've never heard of get 10 points, 12 points, whatever it may be. The Pacers and the Kings obviously aren't playing for anything this year. Next year, hopefully they have a bounce back here for the Indiana Pacers. And the Kings, oh, they just suck, man. Like, hopefully Cam Boozer goes there and he can turn that franchise around. But last night was the ultimate toilet bowl. It was fun to watch, just bad hoops, both teams trying to lose, but ultimately the Kings prevailed at home. And now moving on to Chicago versus Golden State. This game went to overtime, and unfortunately the Golden State Warriors lost, and they've really been unwatchable with Steph Curry going down. I saw that he's going to be out for at least another 10 days. But this game, the thing that jumped out to me was the Bulls. Matas Buzelis has 41 points on 68% true shooting, and Josh Giddey has 21, 13, and 17. I mean, I don't know what the Bulls are doing, honestly, but they're winning games, and they have a million guards on their team, just trying to hurt their lottery odds, I guess. But the Warriors, the thing that jumped out to me was seeing Pat Spencer and LJ Cryer, both have 17 points and both be plus 18 on the floor in a 6-point overtime loss. That's unbelievable, and unfortunately, the culprit of this was Brandon Pajemski being minus 20 in an overtime loss. That's terrible. You got to bench that guy. I think LJ Cryer's sick. I think he's a really good bucket, and I think the Warriors should keep him around. And honestly, I don't know what the heck they're doing with Pajemski. They better not extend him in the offseason. And now a game I probably could have talked about earlier if I wanted to get my retention up, but whatever. I wanted to do this just to highlight some of the other games. Lakers versus Timberwolves. Doncic and Reeves, at some point we're going to have to have the conversation about LeBron James coming off the bench or even needing to just be benched whatsoever. Because every time it's just the two white boys going out there, I swear they're winning all their games. Doncic, 31-point triple-double. That's sort of just what he does at this point. Austin Reeves, 31, 7, and 8. Another guy who's just been absolutely lighting it up when LeBron's on the bench. But for the Lakers, every time LeBron's in, the game sort of slows down, and I've yet to see a game with him where he's got a positive net rating or just a positive plus-minus when no one else on the team does, which is a little bit painful to see as a LeBron fan. Is it time for him to hang it up? Yes. Is it time for him to, he should have probably done his retirement tour this year, but he didn't, and so I'm appreciating that he's still in the league, but he's not impacting winning games at a high level anymore, and at this point he's sort of just a dinosaur out there, unfortunately. For the Wolves, Edwards had just 14 points on 2 for 15 shooting. I don't know what was up with him. That was a fake game. Realistically, no matter what defense the Lakers are going to brag about playing, Anthony Edwards is not doing that on a consistent basis, and he's lucky that it was overshadowed by Bam going so crazy. And then finally, the last game that I wanted to talk about was the Hawks game. The Hawks took down the Mavericks 124-112 behind Jalen Johnson's 27, 7, and 8. Would he be good in the Hunger Games? Probably not. If you don't know what the reference is there, it's referencing my last video. But the Hawks are sneaky really hot right now. They've won 7 in a row, and they're looking like a team that you're not going to want to play in the playoffs. Their guards are starting to hit their shots. CJ McCollum, although he didn't have the best game today, has been a good player for them, a good veteran, and honestly an improvement over Trae Young. But the Hawks just have so much wing talent. I mean, it's not reach to say for sure, putting up a whopping 4 and 3. Unfortunately, the Hawks got him as their number 1 pick and not an actual stud, but anyways, they've been red hot recently behind Jalen Johnson and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They've been fun to watch. And for the Mavericks, Cooper Flagg, at this point you can just put him in bubble wrap for the end of the year. I guess you're getting him game reps, but this is not the team he's going to be playing with next year when the Mavericks are actually trying to compete. Hopefully next year they can get a really good point guard to play with him, unless you say Kyrie's going to be that, maybe a shot creator at the 2. But next year the team's going to be much better. They're going to have better options around him. And at this point I think you could probably wrap him up in some bubble wrap. But yeah, I mean, that's all I've got for the rest of this video. There was a couple other games that happened that I didn't go over. Just either they were just belt or games that don't really impact things very much. I guess the Hornets one, which is sort of exciting. I hope that they get into the playoffs. But Pistons smoke the Nets, Suns beat the Bucks badly, and Rockets beat the Raptors. Hope you guys enjoyed this different style video, just recapping what was going on. And yeah, this March 10th, 2026 day is going to live on forever. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed and like the video as well. Have a good one.